Kinji Hakari is not a special grade sorcerer, at least not yet. In the recent chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen, Kenjaku revealed to Choso during their fight one of the stipulations needed in order for a sorcerer to attain the rank of special grade, and arguably it is one of the most impressive conditions so far. But before we go any further, my name is Andy or Dynamic Weeb, and if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and maybe subscribe for good karma. In chapter 203 of Jujutsu Kaisen, Kenjaku states the following about what is needed to attain the rank of special grade sorcerer: someone who can overthrow a country single-handedly. This statement alone massively scales up our special grades in the series, which if you didn't already know, here is a list of special grade sorcerers: Suguru Geto, Gojo Satoru, Yuta Okkotsu, Yuki Tsukumo, and most recently Principal Yaga of Jujutsu High. Now in this video, I'm going to break down all of their powers and what we know and compare them to our beloved Kinji Hakari, as well as list some sorcerers I believe may attain the rank of special grade in the near future. Starting off at the top, we have Gojo Satoru, and honestly, I do not need to explain this god among men even more than he already has been, but I'll do it anyway just for the good karma. Gojo Satoru is the pride of the Gojo family, possessing multiple techniques that are more than enough to destroy a country, let alone overthrow it. Gojo possesses the Six Eyes, an extremely rare innate ocular jutsu technique that allows him to use the limitless technique to its fullest potential. The Six Eyes can only be possessed by one person at a time and allows them to use curse techniques where their cursed energy expenditure is infinitely close to zero. If that wasn't enough, Gojo can also use reversed curse technique to heal any and all wounds, even bringing himself back from death. Then he has the Infinity technique to choose what objects and people can touch him by slowing down their approach to a grinding halt. Then we have curse technique Blue, a technique able to suck in the surrounding area and or people to his hands. Kinda sus if you ask me. Then we have curse technique Red, which repels all matter away from him. And then finally, the fusion of the two, curse technique Purple, a technique which will eviscerate any and all matter in its path. And if that's not enough to destroy or overthrow a country, then I don't know what is. Next up on the list, we have Suguru Geto, whose body is currently inhabited by an age-old sorcerer known as Kenjaku. But before this occurred, Geto was known for his curse technique known as curse manipulation. Also, take a shot every time I say curse or technique. I dare you. You ain't gonna be standing at the end of this video. This technique basically allows Geto to absorb cursed spirits that are 2 levels below without any conditions to command them at will. Geto has also shown himself to be in possession of special grade curses, and it's also unclear just how many Geto has under his command. It's certain that if he wanted to, he would be able to overthrow a country, which when we think about it, he's already currently in the process of doing just that. He's basically playing the US off against Japan right now, so the man's on his way. Then we have our youngest and most promising sorcerer on this list, Yuta Okkotsu. I'm kind of biased for this dude, he's one of my favorite characters in the series. A sorcerer said to be second only to the strongest, Gojo Satoru. Yuta's curse technique is a special grade vengeful cursed spirit known as Rika. Rika has an endless supply of cursed energy, as stated by Geto in their fight in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Yuta can have Rika follow him around in a partial manifestation, but if he needs to, can call upon Rika to fully manifest for 5 minutes. During this time, Yuta Okkotsu is capable of copying any cursed technique, including cursed speech, Shikigami usage, sky manipulation, and reversed curse technique. Yuta's own supply of cursed energy is constantly refilled by Rika during this state and is capable of great feats of cursed energy output, control, and strength even without Rika by his side. With all that said, it's easy to see why Yuta would be capable of overthrowing a country. Cursed speech alone would be troublesome for anyone standing in his way. Swiftly moving on, we now have Yuki Tsukumo, and unfortunately, we know absolutely zilch about her powers as of the current moment, but I can only imagine what this woman is capable of doing, having been placed into the special grade category with monsters like Gojo, Yuta, and Geto. Finally and lastly on this list, we have Principal Yaga. And I know what you're wondering, Principal Yaga isn't a special grade, how can this be possible? But due to Yaga's ability to be able to create sentient, cursed corpse dolls, the higher-ups feared this power and placed him into the special grade category. Again, having so many cursed corpses would be similar to that of Geto having an army of cursed spirits. It's easy to see how Principal Yaga could overthrow a country. Unfortunately, Principal Gaku Ganji absolutely annihilated them, but Yaga didn't fight back, and it makes me sad. I would have liked to have seen Yaga in action more. Now we've got all those special grades out of the way, let's move on and talk about about our man Kinji Hakari and explore why he isn't going to hit in special grade anytime soon. Hakari's sole abilities rely on luck and his domain technique. While he is an exceptional hand-to-hand combat expert going toe-to-toe with Hajime Kashimo, sorcerer from over 400 years ago whose sole purpose at the minute is fighting the strongest thing he can find, which so happens to be Sukuna. Hakari can throw hands, but unfortunately for our boy, throwing hands falls a little short of being able to overthrow a country. Unlike the rest of the previously mentioned sorcerers on this list, Hakari's destructive capabilities from what we have seen so far rely solely on two things. Number one, his domain expansion to hit jackpots, affording him unlimited cursed energy and becoming unkillable for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. And then number two, being lucky enough to consistently hit that jackpot to continue his streak of being an immortal god with Black Air Force 1 energy. And as much as I love Hakari, I don't see him reaching special grade anytime soon. While I do think he'd be able to hold his own against special grade sorcerers, I ultimately think he would lose in the grand scheme of things, based on his domain being luck based. And yes, while Hakari is incredibly lucky as stated in the manga, I just don't think that Hakari could overthrow a country with the techniques he has at his disposal. With that being said, I do think that at some point in time he will eventually grow to that level of special grade, with him and Yuta even being recognized by Gojo as ones that will eventually surpass him. And I agree that Hakari has the drive and the crazy recklessness to throw everything away in pursuit of the fight against the strongest and the thrill of the chase, but right now he's not that guy. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm also going to list some sorcerers who I do believe will eventually hit the level of special grade, starting at Maki Zenin, a woman who is as strong as Toji and may still have room to grow, and we saw what Toji did to Gojo Satoru before his awakening. Megami Fushiguro, with his Shikigami usage, it's extremely plausible that Megami can attain the rank of special grade, as it would fall into a similar category of Principal Yaga and Suguru Geto, commanding basically a small army. And then my final bit on this video, this one might shock you considering how overall weak he is compared to everyone else in this list, but Yuji Itadori will eventually become a special grade sorcerer, and the reason I say this is because it's stated very early on in the series that Yuji will eventually learn and or inherit Sukuna's curse techniques. How and when this will come into fruition we don't know, but eventually it will happen, and when it does happen, Yuji is gonna be an absolute menace to fight against. But that's the end of the video, and if you made it to the end, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe for more Jujutsu content. Comment and let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Much love, big kisses, bye bye.